Yeah, it's CC, CEO. Wanna change your life? Come see me, yo. I'ma teach you how to build up wealth for your family, not just for yourself. I'm a bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a gold builder that can teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all psychology black-owned firm, but we ain't all black.
What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Constance Carter, and this is the Grow Your Money Club, where we talk about how to grow your money and not blow your money, because if you blow your money, it ain't a damn thing funny. What's happening? Listen, I just got offline with Dr. Boyce, and typically I don't normally come on here on Tuesdays. Wait, today's Tuesday. Yeah, I don't normally come on Tuesdays. However, since I was already on and I'm already talking to Dr. B, I said, let me come on and let me talk to my people today. So you guys come on in. I want to talk real estate today. So I want to have some real estate conversations. What's up, Miss Karen from the Boogie Down? What's up, Leroy? Listen, so if this is your first time here, let's get through the housekeeping, and then we're gonna get right to it. If this is your first time here, please put in the chat, in the comments, this is my first time here, because we want to welcome you. So if you've never seen Constance Carter before, we want to welcome you. All right, so that's the first thing. The second thing is, if we want to know where you're watching from. So I see Karen, she already know what it is. She's from the Boogie Down. She's from the Bronx. Where are you watching from? Because I always like to see where people are watching from, because we have people that watch from all over the world. So, put in the comments where you watching from. Okay. So I want to know. I see Andrina from the Bay Area. That's my stomping ground, boo. This is your first time, Donna from Humboldt, Texas. Good morning. I see you from Greg from Delaware, and I see. This is your second time. All right, my Debbie, thank you for joining us. I see Albert from Mississippi. I see Terrell from Norfolk. That's how you say it. You don't see, so us city folks from the West, we say Norfolk. But when you're from here, you say Norfolk, right? You don't say Norfolk, Virginia. You say Norfolk, Virginia. I see Wayne from Jacksonville. What's up? Lori from Baltimore, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. What it do, Black people? I love it. All right. So finally, before I get started, I want to acknowledge the Black business owners. So if you have a Black business, if you know somebody who has a Black business, I want you to put it in the comments. Why do I say that? It's because we need to support Black-owned businesses. So if you have a Black-owned business or you know of a Black-owned business, put in the comments, because I believe strongly that we should start practicing collective economics as a people. So if you have a Black-owned business or you are a Black-owned business, please put in the comments, because I want to support you. Also, this is a dialogue, not a monologue. So what do I mean by that? I want you to talk back to me and talk Black to me. Okay. So if you have something to say, put it in the comments. I want to read your comments out loud. But if you want to even come on here live with you, I want you to talk Black to me. Okay. So if you want to get on here live with me, go to talkblacktome.com. And if you have a question, you want to get on live with me, that's cool. If you don't want to show your face, that's fine. You ain't got to turn on your camera. We could just hear your voice, but I want you to talk Black to me. Okay. So this is just something that I want to do. I want to engage with you personally. So for those of you who want to hop on here live with me, go to talkblack2me.com and hop on, and you'll come backstage. You won't immediately get on, and then let me know if you want to, get on camera or not. And then I'll put you on, and then you can ask whatever question, and we can have an engaging conversation. All right, bet. All right, Alicia, you said you're a photographer. I need to know how can we contact you? Are you a photographer everywhere? Where are you located? So the whole purpose of putting your Black business in here is not just to say, I got a Black business. I want people to do business with you. So how do they contact you? Where's your website? What's your contact information? All of that. All right. You said 2 LLCs, 1 midterm rental. What are your LLCs? What are your businesses? And how do we do business with you, Adrena? Huh? I see. Okay. You from Fort Washington. So I'm from the Bay Area, and I now reside in the DMV. So you're not too far from me, because I'm in Bowie. Oh, I see Alicia from Upper Marlboro. Okay. Yes. Okay. I think did we meet at the Black Business School? I mean, at the All Black National Convention. I'm not sure. All right. So listen, I want to talk to you about talk about some real estate. I know that I'm getting ready to do the real estate playbook. And with the Black Business School. I'm doing a training next week. It's called the Property Wealth Playbook, Invest, Partner, and Prosper. So I'll be doing that next week. And I'm going to put if you want to sign up for this training, this is a free training that I'm doing along with the Black Business School. That's next week on September 11th. I'll actually be in California when I'll be teaching the class. But if you want to be a part of this training, this free training, it's the Property Wealth Playbook, where I'm going to be talking about different ways that you can invest. Okay, so if you have any questions on, okay, so Adrena has t-shirts, hoodies, and hats. Adrena, what's your website, babe? So they could purchase from you, or they can get your t-shirts, hoodies, and all that. So I want to talk about real estate today, because real estate is the number one wealth builder. It is the number one way that you can build wealth in this country. There are many different ways, but real estate being the number one way, me being in real estate. And you guys, I've dedicated my life to just helping people. And I've helped people from all walks of life. So my clients have consisted of every race known to man, whether it be Indian or Arab or Asian, white, Black, Hispanic. I've had clients from all different backgrounds. I don't discriminate against anybody. I help everybody. But I'm going to tell you right now that my number one priority is helping us Black people. And the reason why my number one priority is helping Black people is because we've had such disparity and such systemic racism and things that have kept us back. And one of the things that I've always told my agents, especially ones who specifically worked with Black people, is that, listen, Black people have been through so much that you will never be without a job, because if you are here to really help people, Black folks need help. We do. We need help with the knowledge. We need help with investing. We need help with the information. We need help with execution. And so that's what I've dedicated my life to. And so that's the reason why I'm always working, because we always need help. And I wouldn't say that I'm your regular real estate professional. I know a little bit more than the average, because the way I teach real estate to people is I teach strategy. Real estate is a tool that you can use to build wealth. And if you use it the right way, and it becomes more than just your home, it becomes an investment, then you can really build generational wealth. Ecclesiastes 11:2 said that we should have 8 revenue streams in case a disaster strikes. And so it should not just be wrapped up in one thing. Dr. Boyce and I were just talking about how 300,000 Black women lost their jobs. And I was mentioning how my sister was one of those 300,000 people who lost her job. And she was like, she was shocked that she lost her job. And I was just shocked that she was shocked. How many of you guys, anybody here lost their jobs? How many of you guys know that when you work for somebody, there's a possibility that you could lose your job? And to be shocked by you losing your job is shocking to me, because they don't, you think about the CEO of that pharmaceutical company who got murdered by Luigi. The next day they had his job up in LinkedIn and Indeed to replace him. Like, nobody is exempt. The moment if you got sick or you died, they will have your replacement in 2.2 seconds. So the fact that we're so reliant on other people's control over our destiny is crazy to me. I understand everybody is not designed to be business owners, but we have to get to a place, even if we have a job, where we have multiple revenue streams, where our money is working for us. And so Dr. Robert Kiyosaki, he has this thing called the cash flow quadrant. Let me just share it with you, because it's important that we understand how money works and how we should actually move in this space with the cash flow quadrant, right? So there are a lot of us that are employees. Now, employees, you have a job. You are trading your time for money. And you trading your time for money, that is, you're at the mercy of somebody else. You're at the mercy of your employer. He could tell you how long you have to work. He determines your wages. You have no control. You can't work more than you want to. You can't work no less than you want to. You are a slave to your employer. Okay. And if he decides that he no longer needs your services, he's going to fire you. You could sue him. You can get the NAACP involved. You could say, hey, you should have DEI, whatever. But if he decides that he no longer wants to employ you, then you're fired. Okay. So the next phase is you're a self-employed person. I love being self-employed. I started off in my real estate journey as a self-employed person. What is a self-employed person? That's somebody, they trade their time for money. However, there's no limit to the amount of money that they can make. So as a self-employed person, as a real estate professional, even an attorney, right? Because an attorney, if they don't own the law firm, they're self-employed. If you're a doctor, you're an independent contractor. You're self-employed. If you don't own the medical business, right? So self-employed, we also trade our time for money, but there's no limit to how much money that we can make. So you want to get out of the hamster wheel of having somebody else control your destiny to you being able to control your destiny. What does that look like? So to go from being self-employed, or excuse me, an employee to self-employed, that's great because now you have to trade your time for money. So when I was just self-employed and I was working for myself and I had nobody working for me, I had to work my ass off. I'm the first one in, the last one out. I'm the one that's grinding. I could make all this money. I'm 33, making $250,000 a year. I filed bankruptcy at the time as well. That was the year before I started my company. But I'm working and working and working, and I'm making all this money, and I'm young, making all this money, and but I had to work in order to make it. Okay, you want to get to a point where you are a business owner. Ultimately, I'm not mad at an employee. I'm not mad at a self-employed person, but you want to be a business owner because a business owner, now you're trading other people's time for your money. So your boss, he's chilling. He's looking at reports. He's looking at strategy, but you are doing all the heavy lifting. You're doing all the hard labor. So he's trading your time to make his money. So when I became a business owner, I traded other people's time to make me money. Okay. Or it doesn't even have to be a business where you're trading time. Maybe you have a system. Maybe you have a some type of training, or maybe you have some type of hustle where you have other things or other systems that are trading trading your time to make money while you sleep, right? So I have online programs. I have the Grow Your Money Club. That's a great program where I have all my expertise, everything that I know, I put it in training programs. So I made millions of dollars flipping property and investing. I have a marijuana dispensary. I write books. I created businesses. I've taken all those skill sets and I put them in a training for other people to learn how to do the same. Because I believe that what God has for you, when you give it to other people, that you're going to be blessed. But with me having the Grow Your Money Club, that's me taking my intellectual property, the things that I know, and I've created something that makes me money even when I'm not actually working, because I've taken the things that I know. So there's something that that you can do where you could trade your time other people, or a system that could trade its time for your intellectual property, the thing that you know well. There are people that will pay handsomely for it. So you want to get to a place where you're having other people or in a system that's making you money where you don't have to work as hard. And then finally, ultimately, everybody should be in a place where they're investors. Now, that's when you own your own investment. That's where your money is making money, even when you're not making money. And ultimately, that's where the wealthy people hang out at. I don't know if you know, but if you look at earned income, most millionaires or billionaires are never going to pay what you pay in taxes. They're never going to pay their fair share. They're never going to pay their fair share, even if the laws that the administration put up, the big beautiful bill that was specifically for wealthy people. Okay, there were tax loopholes and all these things that we could take advantage of if you're wealthy, but they will never pay their fair share because they don't use earned income or active income. They invest their money. They have their money tied up in investments. This is where you want to be. So they're using passive income. So they're creating debt, right? So they're purchasing property. They're not using their own money. They're using OPM, other people's money. So they're creating debt, good debt, and their money is wrapped up in their debt. They're getting money from their assets, and they're also generating interest. That's ultimately where we need to be. But a lot of us are on the grind with being an employee, and that's okay too, because if it's making you money, if you feeding your kids, you're doing all those things, that's totally fine if that's where you want to be. But for those of you who want to go to the next level, ultimately you want to be an investor. Real estate is a great way to be an investor. You could actually build your wealth portfolio. The problem is that I've seen, and so when I see problems in the market, I try to create solutions, right? So the problem I've seen is we'll take these classes with a Grant Cardone, or we'll take these classes and we'll want to invest in these multi-units and things like that, flipping properties and all of these things. I can show you how to do all that stuff. That's great. I want you to flip property. I want you to invest in multi-units. I want you to do that. But what happens when tax time comes around? What happens if somebody gets hurt on your property is that you have opened up yourself for liability. Okay. And what happens is people don't know how to secure themselves and create businesses around these things so that they can pass them. And so now you have these investments. You don't really know what to do with them. You're paying all this money in taxes. You have no tax shelters because you don't know how the tax system works. You're exposing yourself. You're opening up yourself for exposure for lawsuits. You don't have everything set up in place. And so when we're talking about creating real estate, when we're talking about building real estate portfolios, it's important that we're alignment with our business as well. It's important that we create businesses as well. And here's the thing: business is business across the board. Whether your business is selling fried chicken, whether your business is, you have a flower shop, whether you are a real estate professional and you have a business in real estate, the way a business is set up is the same across the board. So having a business, understanding how to create a sustainable business is important with whatever direction you go into, because you can pivot. Okay, so now listen, I know I had a real estate business, but now I want to have a flower shop. You know how to create a solid foundation so that you have the systems in place. You have your SOPs in place. You have everything in place so that you know how to run a business, whether this is your business of passion, your business of leisure, or just your business that you want to make money at. You have a system in place because you know how to create the system, because you know how to build a business. That's important. And so that's what I teach. Those are the things I teach. And I'm having a training next week inside the Black Business School, partnering. I put the link in the comments. And I'll put the link in the comments again. It's a free training that I'm doing next Thursday, I believe, September 11th. 911, it's emergency. But if you want to really enhance your business and create something that you could pass to your children, I definitely recommend that you take this training. My goal is to really just help Black people. Again, like I said, I help everybody, but my number one goal is I'm B1, I'm Black first, and I'm unapologetic about it. Just like everybody else is unapologetic about their who they work with whom they do business with. When you talk to Jewish people, they're unapologetically about doing business with their people first. They said, listen, the way we sustain our wealth in our community is we make sure that we don't do business with anybody else before we do business with ourselves. That's what they say. Yeah. And they're unapologetic about it. Okay. The way Asians do it is, I remember when I was growing up in San Jose, California, and Vietnamese, it was 20, 25 deep in the house. We used to laugh at them. We used to laugh. Guess who's laughing now? They own every mother thing in San Jose. They have strip malls and they own everything because they sacrifice, they practice collective economics, and they built together. That's what Black people have to start doing. And so that's what I'm doing inside the B1 Real Estate Mastery Training, which is going to be starting on September 23rd. And if you want to be a part of that, I don't think the website is out yet. I don't think you can sign up for that yet. But what we're doing inside the B1 Real Estate Mastery Training is we are, if you go there, we're not only am I teaching you how to invest in real estate, not only am I teaching you how to develop real estate in different areas, but I'm teaching you how to come together collectively, because a lot of people don't have the financing. A lot of people don't have the funding. Some people don't have the credit. But if you have a group of people that you can work with to invest in something together, then you got it right there. And I teach you how to create your joint venture partnerships. I teach you how to vet your joint venture partners so that you can create something together. I teach you how to have a divorce clause so that if in the event that there's non-performance on the part of your partners, that you can easily get out of that contract or easily kick them out of the contract. I teach you all of those things. So it'll be part of the B1 Real Estate Mastery Training that we're starting on September 23rd. But first, before you get there, I'm just doing a free webinar next week. And I think I put it in the comments right here. That's where you can register for the training next week. Okay. So I wanted to tell you that. What's up, Betty Flynn from Bakersfield, California? I see you, Booker. Um, so Andrina said, definitely have ideas to start my system. I'm tired of the corporate plantation. I feel you, sis. So for those of you, and then I think Isaiah said, I lost my job because of the company is moving out of the city and they are moving the company down south. So I'm looking for a new job and trying to file for disability insurance. So yeah, that's what I'm going through, right? And trying to get my body together too and get better. Is my dispensary next to HD? No, my dispensary is actually in Stockton, California. So I've had it for like maybe 7 years. It's in Stockton. Somebody said, regarding putting your house in a living trust, if the house has a lien in addition to a mortgage, can the house be retitled into the living trust? Yes. Yes. It's not going to protect it from the liens. And the only way that you can protect it from future liens or lawsuits is if you put it in a irrevocable living trust. So a living trust is going to protect your assets. You can still put it in a living trust. That's totally fine. But that lien's still going to be on that house. Okay. But if you don't have any liens and you want to protect you from lawsuits, irrevocable living trust, but you can't change it. It has to stay the same forever. Okay. A living trust is going to protect your assets and it's going to help you to, pass your property. I don't know if you know that 70% of Black people don't have any type of estate planning. 70% of Black people who own property don't have estate planning. And I moved into an affluent white neighborhood about 15 years ago. And when I moved there, I tried to look to see who lived in my neighborhood, and I couldn't tell who lived in my neighborhood because everybody had their homes in living trusts. These were all advanced business owners, right? So they had wineries. When I got to know them, I knew they had wineries. They were doctors and lawyers, and they had these businesses, but all their homes were in living trust. And now you fast forward to 2023 when I moved to Bowie, Maryland, one of the most affluent communities in the country. All of them, a lot of them make a lot of money and they're business owners and they have these beautiful cars and beautiful homes and bowling alley in their houses. They don't have living trusts. Why? Because 70% of Black people do not have estate planning. We need to. We don't think about that. A lot of people just don't know. And it's important. Living trusts can be expensive. They can be. And so when I was on the podcast a few months ago, I was talking to the audience about, you could create your own living trust using ChatGPT. I just redid my living trust, the one I paid $3,000 for. And I redid my living trust using ChatGPT. So I created an ebook. I just stayed home one weekend. I was like, you know what? I tell people what to do, right? All you gotta do is, and I do this. I'm really good about this. And I had to learn, okay, slow down, step back. Okay, you got to show people how to do it. You can't just tell them, do this and do this and do this, right? I do that. I used to do that a lot. And I remember one time my girlfriend told me, Constance, just because it comes easy to you doesn't mean it comes easy to everybody else. So I said, okay, I took the weekend. I wrote an ebook. It's called MakeMyLivingTrust.com. And I created that. It's a $20 ebook. And I show you how to create your own living trust, a $3,000 living trust. I made it so it's affordable. Thousands of people have purchased it. People are on my site right now purchasing it, and they've purchased it. They're purchasing it all day long. Last purchase was 2 minutes ago. People are purchasing it and they're creating their living trust. My celebrity friends use this as well, but they're taking this information. I show you in this ebook how to take your information, how to take the information, how to put the specific wording per your state, right? How to file the living trust, where to go get your deed of trust or whatever you need for your state, right? All in this ebook. And you do not have to have an attorney. Now you can have an attorney look at it. I hold it up to any living trust. It looks exactly like my living trust that I paid $3,000 for. Once you do the prompts, the correct prompts, it looks just like the one that I paid an attorney $3,000 to do. And so for the people who, that barrier point of entry that a lot of people have had because they have not been able to create their living trust because they simply can't afford it, $20, and you can create your own using ChatGPT. So go on to MakeMyLivingTrust.com and you can purchase the ebook, download it, and then you can create your living trust today. Okay, that was so the way I look at things, you guys, is I see a problem and I try to, if I know the solution, I try to have a solution for it. Many people don't know how to buy real estate. I have the real estate for rookies training. People don't know how to write a book. I show you how to write a book. People credit. I'm a certified credit expert. So I created a training around being a credit expert. So I have what's called the Grow Your Money Club, where I have a lot of my trainings that I do, a lot of things, a lot of my intellectual property, where I'm showing you how to do exactly what it is I do. Have you joined the Grow Your Money Club yet? If not, why not? The Grow Your Money Club is a comprehensive program designed to take you through the complete wealth building journey. We don't just offer random courses, we guide you along a clear path, starting with fixing your credit and becoming a certified credit expert, to building your business, increasing your cash flow, diversifying your portfolio, and ultimately letting your money work for you. With over 30 trainings designed to increase your net worth, you get to either purchase the trainings individually or go through the 12-month roadmap. Here are just a few of the courses. From campus to cash flows, this is teaching your children to become real estate investors. The wealth map training shows you how to eliminate your debt, increase your credit, and diversify your revenue. You can learn to write your book using ChatGPT. Learn how to build your online community. What about 8 ways to make money using AI? Oh, and here's 7 online revenue streams to fund your $1 million dream. How about learning how to purchase tax deeds or land banks? What about getting started in government contracting? If you're a rookie, the Real Estate for Rookies training has everything you need. The Business Blueprint training will help you build your business foundation, get business credit, get business funding, and learn how to pay yourself so that you can scale your business to the next level. Or perhaps you want to create jaw-dropping video content using CapCut, Midjourney, and ChatGPT. There are so many trainings and master classes within the Grow Your Money Club, and I also drop 1 new training per month. You do not want to miss out on this opportunity to invest in yourself, because guess what? You are your biggest commodity. You are your biggest investment. Join the Grow Your Money Club today. So, again, that's so 2 things here with that, right? 2 things. What I just said about becoming a business owner, right? So that's me being a business owner, having something where my intellectual property is making money for me when I don't have to work, because I put the work in, right? I've made lots of money investing and doing all the things that I've done. I've lost a lot of money, and I had to have my own trial and error. So I've lost a lot of money, I've lost thousands of dollars, I'll say. I made millions of dollars doing all the things that I teach you how to do. And so I just allow my hardship to be the blueprint for you. And so that's why I created that. So that's one thing, right? So model that. The other thing is you being able to take advantage of the information in there, whether it's your credit. When you finish the credit module, you'll become a certified credit expert, and then you'll have the opportunity to repair other people's credit. So now you have a job. I show you how to build your side hustles. I show you how to create your entities and your businesses. I show you all these things. I show you how to invest in stock. I show you how to invest in real estate. All of those things inside there, you get the information that I have, because these are things that I've done and that I do. So I just taken my intellectual property and I put it in the form of a training to help people. Again, when I said I look at problems and I say, okay, what's my solution? How do I help people if I know it? Now, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. We'll tell you that. I don't know everything, but the things that I do know, I know them very well, and I can speak to them very well. But I don't make it a habit of talking about shit that I don't know. I'll tell you that right now. I do not make it a habit. So, and that's the beautiful thing about what I do, like with the Net 7 Collective. And I have my shirt on right now. The Net 7 Collective is a group of women that I coach. So it's every week I coach these Black women from all over the country, and I've helped them elevate their finances. I've helped them elevate their financial landscape. They're increasing their net worth to 7 figures, and I'm on the front row of watching them do it, and I'm teaching them how to do it. I'm teaching them how to invest in real estate. They, as a result of going through my program, they've invested in real estate. They have created other arms to their companies. They have started getting government contracts. They have started speaking on stages. Some of them have started modeling careers. Some of them are entertainers. Some of them have started YouTube channels. They started businesses. They've invested in stock. They've done all of these different things as a result of them being a part of my community. My point is, I don't know everything. So that collaboration inside the community is key. Right? So I know what I know very well, but I don't know everything. And so we have this community of women, of all these women who come from all walks of life. And so I think the secret sauce for our community is that I allow them to operate in their greatness, and we collaborate and we share together. So that's what the Net 7 Collective is about. And so if you don't know what the Net 7 Collective is, I do this coaching where I coach Black women from all over the country. And here's the thing. So now we're expanding the Net 7 Collective out to the Net 7 Nation, where we have local chapters all over the country. Over 500 women said they want to be a part of it, and with over 20 countries. So we've already had women from all over the place, all over the world sign up for Net 7 Nation, which are local chapters of the Net 7 Collective. And we have our first training tonight, our first introductory call. I'll say it, introductory call tonight. It's free for everybody. So if you want to jump on that call, go to net7nation.com. But let me just show you a little bit. If this is your first time here and you don't know anything about my history or what I've been through, this is the reason why the Net 7 Collective is so important and the Net 7 Nation is so important.
I never thought I'd be starting over. After over 20 years of marriage, 4 beautiful children, and building the largest Black-owned real estate firm in California, I thought I finally arrived. Life was good. I was making money. I had a team, investments, a mortgage company. Everything I had worked for, prayed for, bled for, I'd built with my own hands. And then my whole world shifted. Divorce hit me like a wrecking ball. So I abruptly packed up my life, I left my business, and I moved across the country. Not because I had it all figured out, because I needed some space to breathe. And what most people don't know is, I was able to walk away and take a 2-year break because I had built passive income. That's what freedom looks like. Having my money work for me when I couldn't even work for myself. And during that time of stillness, I prayed, I fasted, I asked God, what's now? That's when he gave me the vision for Net 7 Collective. I looked around and I realized most of the people who worked for me were Black women. My tribe, my circle, all Black women. And I saw what we needed. We needed wealth. We needed healing. We needed options. We needed each other. I wanted to empower women who looked like me, who had given their all to everybody else, to finally pour into themselves, to build businesses, to invest, to write books, to own something. And baby, they did. Over 80 women all across the country and even globally had increased their net worth. They grew new income streams and they stepped into their power that they didn't even know that they had. But beyond the money, they found sisterhood. And now we're building Net 7 Nation because this movement is bigger than just a cohort. This is grassroots. This is legacy. And if you're a Black woman or you know one who's ready to get free, not just financially, but spiritually, emotionally, generationally, it's time. Welcome to Net 7 Nation.
So this is the reason, that's the reason why I started the Net 7 Collective, is I just wanted to pour into Black women. And then the Net 7 Nation is an extension of that. Miss Sophia, yes, I wasn't going to be on today, but I was on Dr. Boyce's podcast before this. And so as soon as I got off, I was like, yeah, let me go ahead and hop on. And let me talk to the people. So I'm glad that you guys are rocking with me today. But so tonight is the night. That's why I got my Net 7 Collective shirt on. Tonight is the night where we have our introductory call for Net 7 Nation. I'm really excited about it because with Net 7 Nation, this is our grassroots. This is what we're going to be locally, making an impact in our community. So it's not just what you get, because I believe truly, if your hands are open to give, God is going to get back to you. So this is collaboration. This is community. This is us Black people, Black women working together. There's an African proverb that says, when you teach a man, you teach an individual, but when you teach a woman, you teach a nation. And that's the premise of what Net 7 Collective and Net 7 Nation is about, is just teaching Black women. Now, listen, if you was on Dr. B's podcast earlier, I was talking about, how we need each other to survive. Like, I'm not about separating us as a people at all, under any circumstances. No. However, my charge is to help Black women, but we understand and we know that we need Black men in order to create our Black families and our legacies. And so that's the reason why I do what I do with the Net 7 Nation. So if you have not signed up for our introductory call tonight, it's free for everybody. Everybody is welcome to the introductory call tonight. If you have not signed up for it, go ahead and go to net7nation.com and you'll get a Zoom link of and a confirmation. And then you can get on and you can hear a little bit about what it is that we're doing and how, we're just making an impact and how we're going to make history together. Right. So there's an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, you got to go together. So we're going to be going together, Black women. And then, of course, bringing our men along and everything else. But that's what we're doing. So I wanted just to kind of to talk to you today about Black said he's an empty nester. Black said exactly what I've been looking for. I'll be 47 next month. All right. Welcome to the 40s. My very first mortgage is only 16 months old. I have $150,000 in a CD, 34,000. I need to grow empty yesterday. Bet. Holla. All right, Black. I don't know where you at, where you watching from, but tap in for sure. Adrena said, I need that ebook to create my living trust. If you have not downloaded it already. And by the way, because when that video was on, somebody sent me an email said that they didn't get the download, but you should actually get the download right away. So it's not any kind of scam or nothing like that for $20. I ain't trying to scam you for $20, but you should have gotten a download once you purchase the ebook. And it's an ebook. It's not a hard copy. It's an ebook. So go to makemylivingtrust.com if you need the ebook. Okay. Let me see. Lisa said, I would like to join. Lisa, I would love for you to join us. So go to net7nation.com, come and sign up for the call tonight. It'll be tonight at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. So hopefully, I'm trying to find the banner. Hopefully, you can be on the call tonight. And hopefully you can join the movement, man, because what we're doing is, sheesh, where is it? It's pretty amazing. I don't know where the damn, I just had it up. That's why I need Jahari here to be doing this stuff for me. It's net7nation.com. Wow, did I delete it? There it is. I'm blind. It's net7nation.com. Now, before I get off of here, I'm gonna take some questions. Like I said, for y'all, listen, if you want to get on here live with me, if you want to come on here live, you don't have to get on camera. We can just hear your voice. I would love for you to talk Black to me. So if you want to hop on here and you want to ask me a question live, I would love for you to come on here and ask me a question live. Don't do no dumb shit, but I would love for you to come on here with me live. And if you have a question, you can ask me a question. We can engage. We can talk. But I love for you to talk Black to me. Okay. Let's see. Let me see. Let us be okay. Larry Box. Okay, here we go. Larry Box, you preaching again today, brother? I know you're gonna be preaching in a minute. Lee Hall, I appreciate you reposting the stream. Thank you so much. So I just want to know if you have any questions on real estate, because we're talking real estate. And if you want to get on here and ask a question live, you certainly may do so, or you could ask them in the question in the comments. But I will say this. So real estate is my expertise. I own a real estate company. I built the largest Black-owned real estate firm in California, Catalyst Real Estate Professionals. I also own a mortgage company as well. So, and I'm licensed in DC, Maryland, Virginia, Georgia, California, and I'm going to get licensed in Texas because a lot of people need help in Texas as well. But what I try to do with my people is I always try to figure out ways that we can strategize so that we can just things that people don't really know, right? Because people are traditionally taught, the way I was taught real estate is, and I never subscribed to this, you call 100 people, you get 10 contacts, you close 2 deals. That's very transactional, right? I don't operate in a transactional space. My thing is about being transformational. So I want to help people, specifically people who look like me. So my thing is being transformational. How do I help you develop your wealth plan? Your mama, your auntie, your cousin, your granny, everybody in your family to create legacies. And I believe that that's more sustainable than trying to just call new people. Hey, you want to buy a house? Want to sell a house? But that's and Black people have been so marginalized in this country that we need a lot of help. There's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of quote unquote gurus. Baby, I've been doing this for over 20 years. So my reputation is way more important than any kind of get rich quick scheme or anything like that. My goal is to really help Black people to build wealth. And so I teach different concepts and strategies that traditionally people don't teach. Like I was talking about don't buy a house with your spouse. And it went viral on all the platforms. And there was a lot of negative comments on there. And I've talked about it on here before. And so when I say don't buy a house with your spouse, I'm not saying to not to like to do everything individually. And it was funny. The first time I ever said that, somebody said, Constance, you try to put the devil in my marriage, but they did not listen to what I was saying. What I'm talking about is strategy. How do you come together to create more, to build more? Okay. So you buy one property with one spouse. That way you don't take up the debt to income ratio of that one spouse. And then you buy the second one with the second spouse only, their name on it only. It's both of yours because it's in a living trust. Okay. So if you have your properties in a living trust, the trust owns the property, not neither of you, but you both are the beneficiaries of the trust. You can still write off the taxes. You can still do all the things, but you don't have to worry about, if we get a divorce, is something going to happen? This is not a plan B. This is not anything like that. I'm trying to teach Black people how to build together. I actually did this. The reason why I know that it works is because I did it before I started having other people do it. Early on in my career, in my 30s, I was buying properties in my name. Then I filed bankruptcy in 2009, baby. Yes, I filed bankruptcy in 2009. Short sold some property because that's when the market flipped. I didn't have my ex-husband. I didn't have him tied up in anything, so he didn't have to file bankruptcy, and his credit was great. So what did I do? Put him on payroll for my business. Put him on payroll, and I bought the next property in his name. I was able to do that. His debt to income ratio wasn't tied up in my properties, but I had already planned to do that. So I was buying all these properties in my name so I could start buying some properties in his name as well, because I wanted to create our wealth portfolio together, right? I wanted to build it together. California being a community property state, we're both entitled to the properties anyways, being married. There's several community property states throughout this country, California, Texas, Florida, and several other ones. So you're automatically entitled to the property, whether they're deeded on or deeded off. Whether they sign off or not, you're married, boom, you're entitled to the property. The thing I'm saying is put the properties in a living trust. So now the living trust owns the property, and the both of you are the beneficiaries as well as your children. So that if something should happen to either of you, the property, the succession of the property goes to who it needs to go to, and your estate is already planned. That's all I'm saying when I talk about that strategy. So these are the things that I try to help Black families with in creating their wealth plan or their legacy plan. That's one of the strategies that I do. Okay. The other one may be purchasing, if you don't have a whole lot of money, maybe we'll go get some down payment assistance and buy your first property. We'll take the equity as leverage to buy your next property. Maybe that's a multi-unit. Okay. You live in one, rent out the other. Now you're getting the rental income, and the rental income is helping you to qualify for that multi-unit property. And I've done this with clients too. And then you take that and you buy another multi-unit, and you buy another multi-unit, and then at some point you're going to have 10 units, 10 doors paying you money. There's a risk, absolutely. And that's another thing people say, well, that's expensive and that's a risk. Yeah, if you want to build wealth, building wealth is a risk. It's not easy. So if it's not for the faint at heart, if you can't do it, if you don't have the stomach for it, don't do it. I'm not telling anybody who does not have the stomach for it to do it. What I am saying is for those who want to take a risk, those who want to build wealth, who want to create something for their families, there are strategies that you can do. So that's these are the things that I'm teaching, and which are, different than traditionally the call 100 people, talk to 10, get 2 appointments, list that house, get that commission. I don't look at it like that way. I look at it in a way is, how can I help you to build wealth? So I'm licensed, Catalyst Real Estate Professionals. We're still in California. We're in DC. We're in Maryland. We're in Virginia. We're in Georgia. And so we're here just to help you. So if it's not me, then I have a team of people that can help you as well. Let me see, do I have Catalyst? So we can help you as well. But again, if you heard me say, I look at problems and I try to create a solution. And so that's what I do. So anything that I know, I'm helping people. I'm not a gatekeeper. I give all information, and I allow other people to give information too. So if you go inside the Net 7 Collective and you decide to join our cohort, go to net7bbs.com, or you can go to constancecarter.com and take a look at at the Net 7, what the Net 7 Collective is about. But I allow everybody to operate in their gifts and in their strengths. And that's the first thing that you do when you come inside the Net 7 Collective is I do a strengths assessment because I want to teach you how to operate in your strengths. What do you do? How do you do it? And how can you optimize your strengths so that you can be your best you? So everything that I have, where's the problem? Okay, the problem is 300,000 Black women have lost their jobs. The problem is that we want to create legacies and we want to build something, but we just don't know how. What do I do? Okay, then I created this for us. Some people don't have the capacity to operate on that high level of coaching. Okay, so now we have the Net 7 Nation. Some people don't have, the capacity for that. Okay, so now we have the Grow Your Money Club. So this strictly is all about Black people building wealth. And so we're for those real estate investors, we're doing the B1 Real Estate Mastery Training. We're doing a free webinar next week. We're next week, and I think I put the link in here. So if you want to join our free webinar, I'm more than happy to have you with me and Dr. Boyce. We're gonna be doing the what is it called? Property. I forgot what the name of the training is, but it's next week. And I'm going to be giving you some tips to walk away with on how you can start building your real estate portfolio. But if you want to get your hands dirty, if you want to really get in there and start investing with a group of like-minded individuals, then the B1 Real Estate Mastery Training is going to be for you. Okay. Let me see if there's any more questions. Andrea, you getting ready for a funeral? All right. Sorry to hear that. Let me see. I need to watch that one. I'm a disabled veteran. Husband is a 72-year-old elder. I bought my house in my name only. I knew there had to be a strategy, just didn't know the guidance. Yeah. Go to my Instagram. Like that went viral on everything. Go to I Am Constance Carter. Go to my Instagram and take a look. And I talk about it. And if you want to sit down and have a strategy session with me, you can go to Coaching with Constance. Go on my website and I'm happy to do a coaching session with you. But I Am Constance Carter. Go on my website and I talk about don't buy a house with your spouse. And it's not about dividing. It's about conquering together. Okay. Okay. I thought Florida was a community property state. My bad. I could have swore like a bunch of people was like, we can't do that in Florida because I'm not from Florida. A bunch of people on the thread said, we can't do that in Florida because Florida's a community property state. So I thought it was. Let's see. Let me see who else on here. Yeah, there we go. That games. Thank you. It's called, I don't even know the name of my own class. The Property Wealth Playbook. Invest, partner, prosper. That's the name of the training next week that we're going to be doing. Let me share the link of the webinar. Thank you guys. Thank you, Yvette. Yvette is part of the B1 Real Estate Mastery Training too. Yvette, how was your experience inside the B1 Real Estate Mastery Training? If you could share with the people to let them know what's up. And I'm going to put this link in here for you guys. Let's see. I think Larry just be wanting to talk. You just be on here just talking random, Larry. Hella random. Because what are you talking about, Larry? For anyone to take a perfect risk would be surrendering unto the Almighty God. Amen, Larry. You just be on here talking, don't you? But if you want to be a part of the let me see. The Property Wealth Playbook training. Here's the link to the Property Wealth Playbook training. And I love Yvette because Yvette, and we talked about it in there, Yvette ended up doing a strategy called the arbitrage, the short-term arbitrage. And so we talk about all different types of strategies. Plus, you get access to the Grow Your Money Club. While you're in the training, you get access to several of Dr. Boyce's courses. Those are bonuses that we throw in there. So it's just a lot of information. This is a question that I get asked a lot. And you know what? I'll probably do a video on it. Does your house or your mortgage have to be paid off to place it in a trust? No, it does not have to be paid off. The trust is going to be the owner on record. And many people put their homes in trust. So people get scared of changing the ownership because they have what's called an acceleration or due on sale. Most lenders have what's called an acceleration or a due on sale clause, meaning if somebody transfers the property to another person's name, it'll trigger the lender and they'll make the note payable, right? So some people say, "Oh, I don't want to do a trust because it's gonna trigger the acceleration clause." A living trust does not accelerate. Trigger an acceleration clause, and you can put a living trust with a mortgage on the property. And if you needed to refinance, you can refinance and then put the property back in the trust. Here's the thing, and this just happened to someone who just passed away. They refinanced. They didn't put the property back in the living trust. Now their heirs are trying to sell it, and it has to go into probate. So if you refinance it, make sure that your lender puts your property back in the living trust. That title does that, so that if something happens, you don't have a problem with it, going into probate. Okay. Thank you, Yvette. A wealth of knowledge shared in the B1 real estate training, B1 master training, great guidance and partnership opportunities. This is somebody who took the cohort last year. She did the cohort. So I would definitely, thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate the feedback on that. But this is for people who are ready to not just invest, but build businesses, because that's what it's about, y'all. I don't want to just put y'all out there. Yeah, y'all go buy your multi-unit, and then now you got all these tax problems. Now you're getting sued, and now you don't really know how to pass your business down to the next generation. That's the secret sauce, and I think that's what's missing in a lot of these things is people are teaching you these strategies, but they're not teaching you how to create businesses with them, and then to get the tax write-offs and the benefits of creating a corporation, all that stuff. And she also said, we learn types of loans, various REI strategies, and even group property tours with Constance and others. Thank you, sweetheart. Does the trust protect the property from town crooks trying to steal it? No, not really. I did a video the other day of somebody, so people kept saying, somebody getting their deed stolen, and somebody kept saying, you got to put your house in living trust. It can still happen. What you need to do in those instances is you need to put an alert, a deed alert on your property, because in case something happens to your property, you're alerted in case there's a change of ownership. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you what just happened. What's happening to me right now. Okay. So I purchased this property. It's beautiful property, fixer-upper, needs a lot of work, $1 million property, need a new roof and all this other shit. So when I was purchasing this property, it was in HOA foreclosure. And this elderly gentleman, he was hospitalized, and the HOA just took advantage of him, I think. And they had, I think he ended up having fines, I think maybe $2,000 or $3,000 in HOA. He was behind in HOA fees, but with all the attorney fees, it ended up going up to $8,600. So they went to go sell it at foreclosure. I think, my opinion is that there's some kind of collusion going on with the HOA attorney and this investor. So this investor, he goes and he purchases this lien for $8,600. He's like, this is my house. Y'all get the fuck out. Right. So I'm in contract with these people, and he's trying to get them out of the property. And so they go to court to appeal the foreclosure. First time they go to court, he had an inexperienced attorney, and the first judge upheld the sale. $1 million house, $8,600. Okay. So then they appealed that decision. He hired an experienced attorney who was experienced in this. They go to court. Elderly man wins. Of course, I do my own loan. I do my own real estate. They were like, Constance, you ready to close? Boom. Funds are wired in escrow immediately. Like we good. Like so, but the investor, he said he knew that he was going to lose. So he tried to file an appeal before the next court date. It didn't work. The judge said, hey, y'all better close before this guy files his appeal. So we close. He files an appeal. It goes to Supreme Court. He loses. This is in January of 2025. He loses. March of 2025, I don't have a deed alert on my property. You know what I do have? An alert with Zillow, because I was looking for properties. So all the properties in my neighborhood, every time something comes up, I get alerted. So I get alerted of a new sale in the area. Well, guess what it was? It was a sale for $8,600 for my house. So when the guy got the foreclosure last year, the sheriff had given him a deed, but when the judge overruled it, the deed was invalidated. The deed is no longer valid. So he goes to a title company, and he goes and they record this deed on my house. which is illegal. Okay. So right now, my house that I am in right now has somebody else's name on it, somebody else's LLC. I have attorneys fighting it. So we're probably at a point where the judge is going to vacate it because they've done, all the due diligence and all that stuff. However, what this man was going to try to do is the same thing that they've done with these other people. He was going to try. He put his name on my house, so he thought that I was some inexperienced person. Now I check my stuff, right? So his name is on my house, and what he was going to try to do is have somebody come and evict me. Ultimately, is what he was going to try to do, which is what happened to this other lady. But I got an alert from Zillow that a house in my neighborhood sold for $8,600. And it was so funny because we talked to the judge when all the stuff was going on. The judge was like, you can't buy a tent in Prince George's County for $8,600, let alone a home in a gated community for $8,600. It's ridiculous. It was ridiculous what they were trying to do. And this guy was still trying to do it. So today my house is in somebody else's name that they're reversing all of that stuff. But he was trying to do the same thing to me that those people did to them. And here's the thing, and this is why I believe that this has happened to me, is because I believe that this has happened to so many people, especially Black people. This is how they're losing their wealth in this county. And I believe it happened to me so I could bring awareness to it. And so I looked this guy up, and I'm doing more work than the attorneys and the agents. I'm telling them what's going on. They're like, what? This man had, I believe, over 80 something properties that he was in court on, that either he was evicting people, which he was going to try to evict me and have my shit out on the curb, or he was foreclosing on people, or he was buying property at the county court steps. This is the same gentleman that got into a tiff with Kevin Spacey in Baltimore. Kevin Spacey had a $5 million property that it went into foreclosure, and they were in a battle. So you could even Google this. You could see what this man's name is. Same guy who ended up, something's going on with my Facebook. Let me see what's happening with Facebook. Same guy who had this thing going on with Kevin Spacey. He ended up getting Kevin Spacey's house, and it's for sale, I think for like $3 million or something like that. I don't know if it's still for sale. Last time I looked a few months ago, it was, but it happens. So the best thing to do is put a deed protection alert on your property. It's like, I don't know, it's $10, $20 a month. But what happens is if something happens, and typically your title company is going to tell you if there's been some type of transfer on your property too. So if something happens with the title and the title changes on your property, the title company normally will alert you and say, hey, is this valid? Is this legit? So that does happen. That does happen. So just be diligent about that and get some type of alert. Continue to check your records. You could even have a Zillow alert in your neighborhood to see if anything happens, what's going on in your neighborhood. So you can see all the properties that come up for sale in the neighborhoods. So, okay, my Facebook is good. I'm not talking about my personal Facebook. I'm talking about my business Facebook because it said something was wrong with my first personal Facebook. For someone who wants to get into selling houses, they have to be a real estate agent first, or can they go straight to a broker? They have to be a real estate agent, and then they work for a broker. And the broker is the person that is actually the owner of the listings and your buyer. So you basically working for the broker. You're selling houses for the broker. Our house is in both of our names. Does it make sense to move it to one person's name? Is that even an option? You can refinance it and put it in one person's name if they qualify. And then if you qualify to purchase another property, you can do that. The only way to take advantage of first-time home buyer benefits is if you have not been a homeowner in the last 3 years. The other thing, though, is you don't have to have a first-time home buyer program, but you can get, a 5% down payment with a lower interest rate with just you being on the new loan. So working in corporate America for the last 4 years and just got the boot, not looking for another table. That's what I'm talking about. The vet. Listen, I did this video dedicated to Black women. I don't know if you know, but look at this. In 2025, over 300,000 Black women have lost their jobs. And here's what blows my mind. This government had no idea what they were doing when they decided to release brilliance and excellence back into the streets. They thought they were taking our livelihoods. They thought they were crippling our families. But what they really did
They just unleashed the most educated demographic in America, Black women. We're the ones holding the degrees, the certifications, the credentials, and a lifetime of skills they can't take away from us. And they about to fuck around and find out. Because Black women, we don't crumble. We don't fold. Every rock that they throw at us, we use it to build the foundation for our next chapter. And mark my words, what they're gonna see is new Black business owners launching brands that they can't ignore, new Black real estate investors building portfolios that will feed generations, new Black innovators creating solutions that shift industries, and new Black joint ventures pulling our brilliance and our dollars so that power stays with us. Because here's the truth, they may have underestimated us, but they didn't break us. They just freed us to work for ourselves instead of building somebody else's dream. What's coming next is a new Black wealth class, a class that owns more, earns more, and passes down more. A class that understands we are the CEOs of our own lives and the architects of our own future. So if you're one of those 300,000, this is your time. This is your moment. That layoff was not the end. It was the launch. And the world's about to see exactly what happens when Black women stop asking for a seat at the table and start building the whole goddamn house. Now drop a Black fist in the comments and share this with someone who needs to hear this gem.
I just wanted to put that because Devette said she was working on corporate America for the last 4 years and just got the boot, and she's not looking for another table. She's building her own goddamn table, baby. Yes, I love that, Devette. And listen, so I guess my Facebook was froze, but now it's probably off because I looked on Facebook. Black said, I'm signing up for notifications on the Superior Court clerk website right now. That's good. I didn't know you could do that. What county are you in? Perhaps you guys can do that. I don't know. I didn't know. Powerful message. Thank you, Calvin. And then you said you have a Black owned business. That's what's up. I think most of all, we just need Black jobs that will come out and hire youth. We do need, Chris, you're right. We do need more communities, jobs that will hire the young people. Listen, Black people need to become business owners. And I know that everybody is not supposed to or going to be a business owner, but it's paramount that we do it. You know, there was a time in history that Black people, we did it out of necessity because we couldn't go to, other people's stores. We couldn't shop with other people. We couldn't do business with other people. So we had to do business with ourselves. And when you look at Black Wall Street, the dollar circulated a year before it left the community. And then what destroyed Black Wall Street a second time, because there was 300 businesses that were rebuilt, was integration. Because when we no longer had to do business with one another, we stopped doing business with one another. Okay. And so it's important that we do create businesses so that we can provide these opportunities for our young people. We have to stop relying on other people to create our own destiny. We have to create them ourselves. I do realize that not everybody is meant to be a business owner, and that is okay. But less than 3% of businesses in Black communities are Black owned, and they're owned by other people. You will not see a Black owned business in other communities the way you see other people pillaging our community. So we have to take our we got to take it. We got to take our ownership back. We got to take our power back. And then we start providing businesses for our people and our own Black jobs. Since Trump talked about the Mexicans are stealing our Black jobs that he was trying to get us to do. He said, I don't know if y'all seen, he said, I was trying to get the Blacks to do it, the inner city to do the Mexicans job, but they won't do it. So now we're going to let the Mexicans back. This man actually opened up his mouth and said that, y'all. Wait, let me see if I can find the video. But I was just like, am I in the Twilight Zone? Did he really say this out loud? Like, and I guess the shit is getting so crazy now that no matter what this man says, it doesn't surprise people. But this man, and I'm gonna find the video, but this man sat up there and said that we're gonna have, that Mexicans are built for hard labor, and we try to get the people in the inner city to do it, but they wouldn't do it, so that we got to bring them back. Oh God, hold on, let me find that video because I got to show y'all what I'm talking about. It's crazy. But again, the point is that let's stop. Nobody's going to save us, and I do realize that we don't have the infrastructure in our community, but it's time to build it, and it's going to take some time, and that's okay. We just have to do it, and once we do, ain't nothing to it but to do it. We have these great ideas. We have these brilliant business ideas, but everybody's afraid to execute because everybody's afraid to fail. And you got to understand that the idea doesn't belong to he who thinks it. The idea belongs to he who executes it. And if you execute on some shit, you just don't know that it'll open up a whole world, not just for you, but for other people. Because here's the thing. There are so many people who are waiting for your genius to happen. People can't do what they need to do because you haven't walked in your purpose and in line with your purpose. So other people can't do what they're supposed to be doing. Because you're so afraid to start your own, people aren't able to do what they're supposed to be doing. I'm looking for this video too. People aren't able to do what they're supposed to be doing because you haven't walked in your purpose. And so I just want to encourage those who have just been waiting and sitting back and waiting for something to happen. Here it is right here. I just want to encourage those who have been sitting back and waiting for other people to do something or waiting on things to happen. You got everything inside you to do what it is that you're supposed to be doing. And there are people who are waiting for your genius to happen so that they can do what they're supposed to be doing. Let me show you this video. Just wow. I'm speechless. This man said that these people were meant to do this. They were born for this. And he also said they try to get the people in the inner cities to do it and they just wouldn't do it.
Back to their country with a pass back in legally, and we're doing things that are very difficult to do and very complex, but it works really well. We're sending them back, and then they're schooling, they're learning, they're coming in legally. We have a lot of that going on, but we're taking care of our farmers. We can't let our farmers not have anybody, these people that you can't replace them very easily. People that live in the inner city are not doing that work. They're just not doing that work. And they've tried, we've tried, everybody tried. They don't do it. These people do it naturally. I said, what happens if they get it to a farmer the other day? What happens if they get a bad back? He said, they don't get a bad back, sir, because if they get a bad back, they die. I said, that's interesting, isn't it?
Wow. Yo, this is just so we ain't even surprised at the shit that come out this man's mouth these days. Like, what are you saying? Is this AI? This is not AI. This man really opened up his mouth and said this silly ass shit. So he said, we're gonna send them back to their country and we're gonna bring them back, spend all this money, send them back to their country, send them back so they can do the jobs. Because if they don't do the jobs, they die. They're built for this. We try to get them to do it in the inner city, they won't do it. Are you effing serious right now? So my point in all that was that we need to create our own Black jobs, our own economies. And I'm not talking about being separate from anybody else. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, segregation or anything like that, but I'm just talking about building up our communities, because for so long they've been destroyed. Somebody on one of my comments on one of my pages, they said, yeah, we used to kill y'all. Now we just sit back and watch y'all do it. They love that shit. So we're doing exactly what they want us to do. Time to change the game. And I believe that we can. I believe there's a great awakening that's happening right now. And I believe with the Trump being in office and the current administration and the times that we're in, Black people are starting to wake up, and we are starting to mind our Black business, and we're starting to mine our Black business. Oh, by the way, I got a t-shirt. We are minding our Black business, and we are mining our Black business. You hear me? And then I also have a t-shirt that says stay woke, stay wealthy, outstanding, knowledgeable, and empowered. So if you want any of those t-shirts, you can go to conversationtees.com. But listen, today, that's what we need to be doing. We need to be minding our Black business and minding our Black business. And that's where we at. So it's all about building. So if there's any programs that you want to work with that I'm doing, go to my website, constancecarter.com, and you can see everything that I have. I have a menu of things where I'm just trying to help people. I see a lot of these 2020 internet financial literacy people getting in trouble, and they're being exposed. They talking all this stuff, and they houses is being in foreclosure and stuff like that. Listen, I told you 2005 to 2008, I filed bankruptcy. There's no fronting there. I had a 379 credit score, and I built on top of that. I went through a divorce. I lost $1 million. I've had hardships. I've had ebbs and flows and ups and downs. I've had all those things. And so I'm here, really. I'm not here. My point was, somebody said, If the people was really making all that money in what they're selling, then they wouldn't be selling it. And my thing is, I'm here to serve. I'm not here to sell. I'm here to serve. So I'm here. So all the knowledge and information that I have, these are things that I do. You know, when you see like a lot of my classes and my cohorts, people that I know take my classes and my cohorts, you know why? Because they see me when I had nothing. They see me when I had sheets on the curtains, as for curtains. They see me when I had nothing, and they saw me build my business, and they want to know the blueprint. So, and that right there is when I could be the most proud, because people could be on the internet and they could see me. They could be like, you know, they could be, oh, I'm motivated. I want to work with Constance, and not know. But the people who see me up close and personal, they know the fruit that I bear. And that's what makes me proud the most. So I ain't on here trying to sell y'all nothing. If you don't buy it, that's fine. But my information, I'm here to really serve. All right. I wasn't supposed to be on here today, but listen, tonight, tonight, for the Black women, if you are a Black woman or you know a Black woman, Net 7 Nation is tonight.
The countdown begins. The movement is growing, and the moment you've been waiting for is finally here. Net 7 Nation is launching September 1st, 2025, a nationwide sisterhood of powerful women building wealth, shifting mindsets, and changing generations. This is more than a community. It's a movement. It's legacy. It's your time. Get on the list now and be the first to register for this life-changing experience. Net 7 Nation, because when you teach a woman, you teach a nation.
That's the wrong date. It's tonight, September 2nd. So go to net7nation.com and sign up for it's a free informational. It's an informational where I'm gonna be talking to y'all and sharing some strategies of what we can do to build this thing together, y'all. I love y'all. I do, for real, in real life. I'll see you tomorrow.